September. I just want us to look at that. Nominated to be among 100 most influential women. There you have a list that gives you not just Governor Waiguru, but also Chief Justice Martha Koome, one Governor of Kitui, Charity Ngilu. What does this mean for you, Governor, looking at this at such a time?
Let me say I'm very grateful for that nomination. It was really a great honor, and didn't expect it, but I'm sure we all consider it a great honor to be considered as influential, and also shows that whatever it is that I have been doing has an impact, not just in Kenya, but also beyond our country to the continent, and people are hearing, people are noticing, and it's good to know that your voice is being heard.
Right. Congratulations for that. And now I want us to focus on the latest. You've been speaking quite a bit lately. Well, is it speaking or tweeting or post on social media? And I want us to take a look at something you posted on the 20th of August, 2021, just after the release or the announcement or the declaration by the Court of Appeal on the Building Bridges Initiative. There's something that you said that you want to understand what exactly you meant. Just waiting for it to be on the screen. Here you are, that Kenya will go on. BBI intended well, but we must respect the constitutional authority of the courts and find other legitimate means to achieve Kenya's unity and prosperity. And for some of us, it is time for serious introspection on the political way forward. What exactly did you mean with that in general, but specifically it's time for us to do serious introspection on the political way forward for some of you?
You see, as I said, we have been on this journey for the constitutional amendment for a very long time. And for 2 years, we have crisscrossed this country. We have gone to every region. We have spoken, we have sung, we have danced, we have consulted, and then we hit a dead end. And any serious leader, what any serious leader would do is sit back and reflect on exactly what has happened. And that's what really I meant by introspection. I need to ask myself, what happened to our path? We had good intentions, as the post says. We were looking for good things for this country, looking at issues of unity. We were looking for gender representation for those of us who are championing the gender issue. We were looking for more resources to the counties because, as you know, there's been a tug between the national government and county governments on resources, and we wanted to ensure that we have that secured in the constitution. It was good things, if you ask me. It intended well. But then we hit a dead end, and as a leader, the way I am wired is to sit back and ask myself, where is it that we went wrong? Because if we were right, then we should have succeeded. How come we did not succeed? And also politically, to ask yourself, if you are trying to do something good for the people and the people are not moving with you, is there something that you did wrong in that engagement? Is it the procedure of engagement? Is it the way we were presenting ourselves? Is it the political vehicle? You have to sit back and ask yourself that, and then listen to the ground, listen to the people who elected you, and those people then will guide you so that you do not go again and hit another roadblock, which now either completely finishes your political career. So that's what I meant on political introspection, which is something that I do personally, not just in politics, but also in my personal life. You ask yourself, why am I here? And where is it that I have failed? Why did I fail? Or why is it that I'm succeeding? Where am I doing it well? What do I need to strengthen? And what do I need to change? And if you need to change, be humble enough to say, I've been on this road. I thought this was the best, but it clearly doesn't look like that's what's going to work. And then change your course.
Let me get this clear, because you say that you're looking back and seeing that people are not moving with you. Is that an admission that the people of Kirinyaga are not necessarily walking the journey of the Building Bridges initiative that was, or they're not really moving in the direction of the political persuasion of what would be of President Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga in the handshake?
I think that's it. And it's the truth, because looking at the reactions, you see, when you listen to the people after the verdict and the polls that have been done nationally and those that have been done regionally, we seem to have left people behind. You'd have expected the people of Mount Kenya who are gaining, especially with regard to resources, to be at the forefront of demanding that this BBI must pass. And that wasn't happening. And I would be completely dishonest if I say that the people of Mount Kenya were behind it. They were not. And what message is it? And that's why I said, is it the way we structured the message? Because it was a good thing to have resources. We need to have resources that account for our population. Everybody knows that that's a good thing, because it means that you have more resources for healthcare, more for agriculture, bursaries will be fairly distributed. All the right things, the same things they asked me to deliver for them as the governor of Kirinyaga. And yet they were not feeling or supporting this process. So then you have to ask yourself, what is it that we went wrong? What is it that we did wrong so that we did not carry the people with us? And yeah, that's really what I am seriously reflecting on.
So in your view, even as you continue the reflection, what is the pulse of the Mount Kenya region at the moment?
What is, sorry, I lost you there.
What is the pulse of the Mount Kenya region at the moment politically?
The pulse?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you mean by what is the pulse of the Mount Kenya region.
What I'm asking
are you asking how you measure it? Or are you asking...
What I'm asking is, because you say that the region is not walking the journey of BBI, it's not walking the journey of the handshake, you left the people behind, and you cannot ignore this further. So what is the real assessment of the persuasions of Mount Kenya region in your view at the moment?
I think politically, let me say that the Mount Kenya region at this point is in an interesting or a place that is very unfamiliar to us. For a very long time, we have always had our leader who we were rallying behind, and we knew, for example, in terms of the elections that are coming up, that we were all going to rally behind our own person for various reasons. And because of that, we tended to coalesce together. Mm-hmm. But this time around, we are very clear, or people seem to be very clear, that we're not heading towards the route of our own presidential candidate. And I say that because many people have declared that they're running, but there is no buzz. I am in Kirinyaga right now, and there's no buzz around any Mount Kenya region as a presidential candidate. Mm-hmm. And we don't have a clear, successor. You know, we don't have a successor who we can say that this is the person that we will all gravitate towards. So a lot of conversations are going on. We have been having this conversation on unity. And we're in a very interesting place, let me say that. And it's possibly maybe because of how we have engaged, or maybe just where history has placed us now. And those of us who are leaders in this region have to very quickly figure out how to deal with this situation. So that is actually the thing that makes us be the way we are right now. And for the first time, let me tell you, which is very worrying, I've said, I tell you, I'm a pragmatist. I will not pretend not to be a pragmatist. People think that you can just wake up and change the political course of a people by just telling them one thing or other. It doesn't seem to be working anymore. We don't have that thing that is going to unite us. Maybe it will happen between now and December, or maybe between now and March next year before the election. Something will happen that pulls the Mount Kenya people together and then say, let's go in this direction. But that thing hasn't happened yet. And so we are in a position where many people are considering supporting candidates outside of our region for president. They're not even considering seriously any of ours. And we have to figure out how to play that as leaders, yeah.
And there has been, excuse me, there has been efforts by different leaders. If you talk about the meetings of the three MKs, Martha Karua, Mwangi Kiunjuri, and Moses Kuria, there has also been efforts by some members of parliament, allied to Deputy President. They actually met in Laikipia over the weekend and came up with some what they're calling an economic blueprint. But there's also been meetings of Raila Odinga with different leaders from the Mount Kenya region. Have I seen you in one of them? So when you have to look at all these attempts at forging unity, what is the expectation and what do you think eventually will work for a region? Do you have a common agenda that can bring everyone on board?
I have been part of the conversations on the Mount Kenya unity, and I think one of the things that we are speaking about as leaders is the need to have a common agenda and to try and keep our region together and see how, as leaders, we can influence those who follow us and those who we lead towards one thing. And one of the things that we want is the economic empowerment of our people and securing the economic gains that we have right now. Under President Uhuru Kenyatta, there are certain gains that we have. We want to have those things secured. We want issues to do with agriculture, which is our mainstay, issues of coffee, issues of tea, to be addressed. The prices of rice in Kirinyaga, in Mwea, we want that issue secured and addressed, whoever comes into leadership next year. We also want to ensure that the issues of 1 shilling, 1 man, and 1 vote count, so that our population counts for something. And we are coming together as leaders, having that conversation. When we say unity, it's actually unity of purpose, so that whoever ends up there at the top as the president will have this for the Mount Kenya region. I'm very cognizant personally that there will be various candidates, right, who will be running for the presidency. And those candidates, when eventually they choose whoever their running mates are, many of them have already declared that they will have their running mates from Mount Kenya region, that those people will have the issues that concern us as key. And so that's really what, in my view, is the conversation around the Mount Kenya unity, because even if we are united, we can actually decide to take our votes in one block, but it's going to be looking very highly unlikely that that's going to happen. But we are working towards ensuring that we see if we can do that and support one candidate, because our votes matter. But even if that doesn't happen and we end up with various candidates, whoever is the candidate, then will be somebody we are hoping that will carry for us wherever it is that they go. This irreducible minimums that have to do with the people of Mount Kenya, and especially with regard to their economic empowerment.
And is there any role you'll be playing at a personal level? Because I've seen you at different meetings, whether it's that meeting that was in Nyeri with the likes of C.S. Munya and other some governors from the region. So what specific role will you be playing to sort of offering an opportunity for the Mount Kenya persons or citizens and leaders to find that common ground?
As I said, it's been a very difficult season, because we are all trying to figure this place where we are at and ensure that we are going in one direction. What role will I play? As a leader, I'm expected to lead my people, to guide them, to enlighten them on especially the need for this unity of purpose, that we are all going in the same direction. This is for your good. It is not for the individual good. I know many people have had conversations about whether this is really beneficial to the people, or is it beneficial to the individuals? And having this conversation, playing the role to ensure that as a leader, that whichever government comes in 2022, that government has in front of them a list of irreducible minimums for the Mount Kenya region, because that person will not be president of this country without the votes of Mount Kenya.
Okay, all right. There's something I want us to focus on. You posted it on your Facebook account. I believe it was over the weekend. Let's bring it up and look at what you're saying in as far as some summons to the EACC. It's a bit long, but I'll try to read as much. Last time I said on BBI, let me keep quiet a bit. Immediately, EACC raided my office. Recently, I said I'm introspecting on the political way forward. And again, immediately, I get EACC summons complete with all the subtle threatening inflexibilities and media alerts on, well, it's a bit far from me. But anyway, you're talking about that what you suspect to be political witch hunt or the usual attempt to shape narratives for 2022 succession politics. And let me begin by asking you this. Have you received any summons from EACC? If yes, about what?
Let me tell you why I am saying that this is very interesting and coincidental. I mean, in the last 1 year, my county has had over 250 summons to EACC. And they're very subtle over everything, you know. This particular time, we received a summon concerning the South Kariama. We were in the process of starting the process of giving titles to South Kariama. And this process started way back in the defunct local authority. They secured surveyor or a company that was the one that was surveying the land and has the list of the allottees. And then the next regime came, and there happened to have been some disagreements, really political disagreements, because they were political competitors, or so to speak. And therefore, that process didn't finish. And now we got instructions that there is a resolution at the county assembly that we need to complete the process. Now, it's not a process that is initiated by me. It's not a process that has any direct benefit to me as an individual, other than serving the people and probably getting votes. And we know that there are people who are very determined to ensure that that process stops, because if it does stop, then there are certain votes that they can politically move away from you, because it actually gives you political mileage. But then, to use that now, the reason I say that, because they know very well that there is no payment that has happened, because immediately they came, we stopped until they clear it. For them to summon, then I tell them, okay, the next 2 weeks, I have certain commitments. Can we do it in the 3rd week? They threaten to arrest you just because you have not obeyed a summon to go and say what the letter said, give information that is, they think that I have information to give them. Now, that information they want, they can actually get it without summoning me, but that's not even the issue. Before even I have appeared, after the 2nd letter that says we are threatening that if you do not show up on this particular day, whether you have time, whether you have other commitments or not, we will exercise certain sections of the Constitution, which means they're just basically saying we'll arrest you and force you to come and write this statement. They actually alert the media, you know, and we get from media links saying that we are actually been told by EACC to write these stories. That tells you that there's somebody behind it, and it's not an investigation, is not an inquiry. It is, they want to see me in Nairobi, because these questions are usually done in Nyeri. In fact, the last time they wanted to ask me questions, they called me to Nyeri. But when they want to push a certain agenda, they call you to Nairobi, so that you're seen going through those revolving doors. They call the media and they start sending a narrative. And that's why I said it is not in good faith. And it is being pushed by the same people who have been trying to push this narrative about me because of the issues of 2022. But as we say, there is a God in heaven.
And Governor, because we tried to get information from the EACC, what exactly they're investigating, excuse me, they're investigating you about, it wasn't forthcoming, but you understand that there could be several areas of concern by them. Why would you allege it's that witch hunt? Who is behind it, in your view?
The same people who are behind my impeachment, it's very obvious, we know who they are. The exact same people who have been behind the push of this narrative. Those are the people behind it. They're the ones who have the powers to influence such institutions.
Do they have names?
Pardon?
Do they have names? You said they are obvious. Not exactly.
I mean, they're known, and it's pretty obvious who they are, but I wouldn't, at this point in time, mention names. But if need be and the time comes, we will mention who they are.
And so, listening to you, sorry about that, listening to you, you'd appear quite a bit frustrated. So, what is, excuse me, well, I think we need to take a short break. We continue this shortly.